And while we're on the subject of unusual lacings, look at this. Now, this is, as of the time of this filming, not a published lacing, so it doesn't actually have a name, but I'm sure if you look at the title of this video, there will be a name of some sort, probably something to do with diagonal spine, just because the names that I give things tend to follow a kind of language. Okay, you may note it's very nearly straight across, going that way, has this nice reinforcing spine that reminds us of the lace locks. Cut. Now, this does have a couple of advantages. For one, a major one in my book is the ability to tighten the top very easily. Slip your foot in, grab the sides, pull that tight, and you're doing the top two right away. And then you can either tie a knot here or cross the bottom one into a runner's lock, in which case you'd tighten it from here and then tie away like lightning. There we go. Okay, now this also has the interesting property that because of the diagonal and the way that plays with tension, it will actually adjust the fit of the shoe very slightly. So if you have something that's almost perfect but not quite, this will adjust that very, very slightly. And these here, the lace locks on the side, means that it will fix tension as you go, quite like skate lacing. And one last little bit that's harder to see in black. These down here are straight lines across that distributes the weight very comfortably across the shoe, which means that these are a much more comfortable lacing to wear on the same pair of shoes. All in all, it can make a mildly uncomfortable pair of shoes much nicer to wear about all day. Alright, let's teach you guys how to do this. Cut. Now, something that's easiest to show you here at this step is find the center of your shoelaces and put that right here. Now, this diagonal spine look actually does serve an additional purpose. You saw when I tied the Ian knot up on this side, this is a right shoe, that the bow was off here. Now if I were riding a bicycle, for example, I would want the bow and the tails of the draw loops to be away from all the gear work, which would be over here as I was pedaling. And that is exactly the advantage here. Now, depending on whether you want the lock on the very end or not, will change which side you want it on. If you were doing it on the inside, like I'm doing right here, that's for hiking. You are much more likely to find burrs and little not quite pieces of Velcro stuck on your bow if you were on the outside than if you were on the inside. Although that may have some more to do with the way that I walk. So I would test it out. Anyway, I want to tie it off on this side, so I'm going to start with the loop on that side. And then, not unlike train track lacing, put that through and tighten that down. Now let's do this in color so that you can see it better. Cut. Okay. So, where we last left off, it was right here. Now I have this bound up and out of the way so that it's slightly clearer. And as I'm going along with this, my process, the way that I find is easiest to tie it, is in and out there. Then before you tighten that down, put the lower free end through the lock, tighten that up, tighten that up. There we go. Into the face, across the tongue, and before that's tightened all the way down, cut. Now you could, if you really wanted to, skip the lace lock and go directly from here to here and from here to here. That would give you a sharper diagonal, but you would lose the security of this side. And you would also lose the fact that it holds as it goes. And this little looping bridge right here would be just kind of hanging out there. You would have all these nice diagonal lines and then this little bridge right there. And if you're alright with that, and if you're alright with sacrificing all of these extra features in the name of style, go right ahead. But personally, I think this is a little more consistent. And after all, function is form. Part of the reason that we say that it looks nice is because every part of it, including the parts that look nice, are also useful. Cut. Now I'm going for a knot in the middle style here, so I'm using this last lace lock. But if you did not want to do that, you could pull this out, and the difference in the lacing lengths is about like that. I have this centered already for this style because there are 6 eyes, and that just tends to be how it goes. Cut, meaning that these are now for bicycling. But if you felt like it, you could reverse the function by putting this back down here, putting this straight across to its own lace lock, and then tie here. Cut. Lots of cuts today. And that is our diagonal spine. Bonus round. Okay, so you may notice that I put my laces back the way that they're supposed to be, the way that I actually like them. If you want to see how to do that, go here. There we go. Okay, I'm assuming that that annotation goes through. Anyway, this will be the last shoelace-based video that I do for a while, but I do intend to keep doing how-to videos for the conceivable future. So if you are into knot tying, as I presume you are, being on my channel, there's probably going to be a playlist right about here, or maybe over here, or down here. We'll see how many I've got. There's probably could be any number of those. But if you happen to like seeing these sorts of things and want to support me in my endeavors and get some cool stuff, these are all for sale in my shop, which is wherever links are to be had in the future. Maybe you downloaded this from a torrent, I have no idea. But there should be links to my shop somewhere where you can get some of these, assuming I haven't given away all the plans to how these are done. If that's ever the case, the playlist will be right there. There we go. Okay, but to keep me alive and doing what I'm doing, I would really appreciate people buying stuff like this, or perhaps stuff like this. Yeah, that's nice, right? You like that? Okay.